Hello, hello, hello. It's the Rundown on A2DRadio.com. I am Zach Burr, Ralph Delavecchio, Sean Watson. Jeez, I feel like we've already done a show, boys.
That pre-show was awesome.
We should have had the cameras and the headsets and everything else on us for the pre-show.
I know.
Because it was getting heated up in here. It's the reason we're the Rundown.
Yeah.
And we kicked so much ass ever since Sean showed up. This is what it's brought.
Yep.
Emotions come out. Tempers flare. We want to punch each other in the face by the time the hour is up. But, hey, it's all in good fun. We have fun when we're talking.
Good debate.
So. Exactly. Listen, that's all that matters, right?
Yeah.
Oh, it's all that matters. If it's smart, it makes sense. It doesn't matter whether we're agreeing to disagree, whether I'm on this side of it, whether you're on that side of it.
Yeah.
As long as it makes sense. You got to make good points. That's all I care about.
Yeah.
You know, you can't come in with pointless arguments that make no sense. As long as you can argue with me that the sky is green. I don't care. It's fun, right? We're brought to you by Obie's Catering as usual, changing the world one dish at a time. Contact Chris O'Brien, 856-534-8410. Email cateringbyobie@yahoo.com. Tell him Tom O'None sent you. You get 20% off. Follow his new Facebook page, Catering by Obie. And, of course, we're live at the Kingsgate Realty Studios here in Burlington, New Jersey. And if you're interested in buying, selling, or renting a house, you can go to Kingsgate Realty, 57 West Kings Highway in Mount Ephraim, New Jersey. Call 856-931-1200. Email Patrick Bokikio at patbo@kingsgatere.com. Well,
The freaking Eagles.
we kind of got onto it, 5 minutes into our show last week where we had all types of reports. As a matter of fact, let's even go back further than that because we talked about it last week on our show, but as far as from an A2DRadio.com perspective goes, this goes back a couple weeks where Tom was talking about on Agree to Disagree with the bad boys of sports talks with Nick Delgazzo and Brian Wilson. And, Sean, you mentioned your insider last week, and, Tom and, us here at A2D Radio, we got multiple insiders, and he was talking about the same thing that you were talking about a couple weeks back where he said he's got his insider telling him that Pederson's the guy, that Andy Reid and Jeff Lurie had already talked, and that Doug Pederson was going to be the guy.
I hate it.
Right.
I hate it.
Now,
dude.
here we are almost 3 weeks later, and Sean, me and you kind of feel, Ralph, I know you kind of feel a little bit opposite, and I'm kind of confused by it, so that's going to be a good, I guess you can say, other side of the argument once we get into this. But, Sean, me and you kind of feel like 3 weeks later, he just kind of dragged his feet into the mud and finally came to this conclusion with Pederson when, meanwhile, we knew all along Pederson was his guy 3 weeks ago. From the moment he fired Chip Kelly, it was his number one choice. At least that's how it seems.
Right.
Take away the Doug Pederson hire. I don't like it. I know Sean, Ralph, we were kind of in agreement in unison last week.
I like his one personnel so far.
Well,
Okay.
yeah, Jim Schwartz.
He has a proven defensive coordinator.
We're going to get into that. We'll get into that.
Can I mention? I'm going to mention real quick that Jeffrey Lurie, before the press conference yesterday, Jeffrey Lurie told the Eagles employees, meaning not their players, but the Eagles employees,
kitchen
to
staff.
make sure that they start clapping when Doug Pederson comes out and after Doug Pederson speaks.
Yeah.
So he wanted everyone to be respectful. So he made it well known.
Yeah,
for
well,
that, so.
is that the report right there? I think we got the fakest owner in the world right there,
Well,
baby.
Here we go.
See, okay, Ralph is
Here we
fired
go.
up.
I know.
Ralph's
Here we
been
go.
fired up for the better part of a month.
Here we
when
go.
Chip got fired, Ralph, I don't think his ass has been in a seat since.
I told you from when Chip got fired, the Eagles are going to take a big step back, and they already did take a big step back.
Do I think
Hold on,
Jeffrey
hold on.
Lurie completes his line? Yeah, I think he's
Okay, hold on. This is because this is going to be a good conversation once
I
we
hate
get
it,
into
dude.
it. Okay, but what you just said, you feel like they're taking a step back with the Pederson hire.
They did.
I don't like it either. But here's the thing, and this is the God honest truth. Okay, we don't know. Okay,
We don't know.
I don't like it. You don't like, and with candidates out there, I'm a big fan of. Listen, just because you don't know, maybe the guy could end up being Bill Belichick. Do I think it's going to happen?
come on.
No. But the point is,
he was a high school coach 6 years ago.
listen, I agree with all that. Okay, listen, we're trying to we want to look at every aspect of this argument.
The Eagles are a joke, Zach,
Well-
is what they are
well,
right
that's
now.
going to be a big
They're a
conversation
laughing stock
today.
of the NFL.
No,
Maybe
that's,
depends
on-
no,
Yes,
I
they
don't know
are.
about the Cleveland
That.
Browns.
Yes, they
That's
are.
the Cleveland
Maybe
Browns.
the
Yes,
laughing
they
stock
are.
to you. 'cause-
Hey, Ralph,
Come
you got a
on.
report.
Yes.
Go ahead, say it.
Oh,
about
yeah,
the
John
Browns.
DeFilippo, baby.
John
QB coach
John
got signed
DeFilippo,
today.
well-
And guess where he came from?
Cleveland.
Last year,
Listen.
Cleveland
Listen.
Browns.
Listen.
The Cleveland Browns.
Listen.
The Philadelphia Eagles and the Cleveland Browns, one reason why I should just team up, just like how the
No,
Eagles and Steelers
please.
did in World War II. This might as well just team up
Like
together.
like the Steagles?
Ralph needs to calm down. We've got Frank Reich is going to be the new offensive coordinator here.
Yeah.
Okay, both him and Doug Pederson are quarterback guys. The chance that John DeFilippo even touches a quarterback's helmet today, this year is like slim to none, okay?
Yeah.
He's got 2 guys that he's working under, so I'm not real worried about that. If they give him any type of hands-on responsibility, it's kind of a problem to begin with. So let's start there. But the big conversation today all surrounds Chip Kelly because, listen, we talked last week.
I miss him.
We're all in – I mean, not Chip Kelly. Look at me. I'm not even.
Okay,
I'm not even talking.
See, he
correctly.
wants Chip back.
Listen,
You want
the
Chip back.
conversation today all surrounds Jeffrey Lurie, not Chip Kelly. See, you've got me thinking about Chip Kelly. This is your fault, Ralph. Now, the conversation surrounds Jeffrey Lurie because we all talked last week. We're all in unison. Yeah, we don't like the Pederson hire, but that is what it is. Okay, that's happened. We talked about it enough last week. There's no reason to retread on that.
Right.
But I think there's a bigger picture here that leads to this. Listen. We don't know what Doug Pederson could be as a coach. I'm with you and Sean. I think it's not going to end well.
mistake.
You know, I think his tenure could end
1
up.
year.
I think it's going to. Well, if it really blows up and the guy goes 3 or 13 or 4 and 12, that's going to
That
end up
means
being
we're
what
going to get
happens.
Deshaun Watson
You know?
next year if that happens.
If that ends up happening, or Chad Kelly, who, speaking of Frank Reich, and there's a Jim Kelly connection. He was Jim Kelly's backup, and Chad Kelly's Jim Kelly's nephew. So,
Yeah.
listen, Chad Kelly can sling it all the way around. And
Is he an Andy Reid guy?
who?
Chad Kelly.
Chad Kelly?
He's Andy Reid guy?
Chad Kelly's the nephew of a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I know.
So
Is
I don't
he
think-
Andy Reid guy?
No, he's a Jim Kelly guy, which means he can play football. So
4 Super Bowls, he's saying.
yeah, you know, it's exactly that means he can
I
play
went
some
4.
football.
Yeah.
Well, that's
I don't know how
listen,
you get to 4 Super Bowls and lose all 4 of
listen,
them,
there's
but-
more that goes into that. I mean, you know, it's football is a team game. You've got coaching. You got a lot more that goes into that than
I went 4.
when in 3 of those 4 Super Bowls your defense gives up 40+ points.
Yeah.
I mean, really, like. If I'm Jim Kelly, I'm going to kind of be like, wow, like we really had a chance at this one, defense. Way to go. Bruce
So
Smith,
who
way to get to the quarterback.
Let me ask you, who said they wanted Chad Kelly?
Oh, no, I'm just throwing Chad. I want Chad Kelly. I'm just throwing that out
You
there.
know something? I'm looking at Chad Kelly is actually a pretty good pick.
Dude, he's a phenomenal
yeah,
pick.
Yeah.
How about this?
I thought he'd be 6'6". He's 6'2".
He's probably 6'3",
He's like a
6'2".
Drew Brees.
You know, I
He's
was
like a Drew
I
Brees.
watched.
He's
I
tall.
checked.
Drew Brees
Listen,
is
I'm
5'11"-ish,
I'm not a
6'4"-ish.
big college football guy, but I checked him out. He's actually pretty good.
Well, he threw for 4,000. How about this?
Yeah,
This should tell you everything you
he's
need
a
to know
good
about the
college
kid's
quarterback.
talent,
Yeah,
okay?
good
The kid
college
initially went to
quarterback.
Clemson.
Yeah.
Dabo Swinney kicked him out of that program for being a hothead, for arguing with his offensive coordinators. The kid ends up at community college in Mississippi, sets all types of records. They win a community college championship. Then he gets arrested for getting in a bar fight where the bar claims, and this is a week after Ole Miss accepted him to a scholarship.
Yeah.
The bar claims he claimed he was going to go out to his car, get an AK-47, and spray up everybody in the club. Yeah. And somehow he's still playing quarterback at Ole Miss. So that should tell you everything you
you're
need to know
saying-
about his talent.
So he's related to Jim Kelly?
He's Jim Kelly's nephew.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah,
Welcome to
I
Philadelphia.
like him. I like him.
But-
Welcome to Philadelphia.
Now, where do you think he's going to go in the draft?
Well, it depends on what type of senior year he has. Now, here's what I'm getting. He could win the Heisman Trophy next year, and I still don't think he'll be the top overall pick because you know how NFL scouts work. They're going to look at his background. He's been kicked out of one program. He's been arrested multiple times. So just no matter how good the talent, he might fall to 10, 11, 12, just somewhere like that. He's going to fall into the first
No,
round.
he's not going to be a jerk off like Manziel, right?
No, he's figured that's the kid. He's always been a good like a good kid that's kind of just been real competitive and a little bit of a hothead. But he's figured that side of it out, and he's matured, and I think that was always a maturity issue. But we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves there because, you know, we all want to play the fantasy game right
Zach,
now.
I actually agree with you on something today.
Yeah, but that's shocking, right?
I
I don't
actually
think
agree
we've
with him.
agreed since
Wow.
we've started the show together. It's amazing.
Crazy.
But
First thing.
we're trying to talk about Jeffrey Lurie because with this Doug Pederson hire, there's kind of a bigger picture here. He says he's going to fire Chip Kelly.
He does.
You know, and he said he did it when he did it because he wanted to give himself 6 more days than anybody else, any other franchise, to get a head start on the head coaching search. Now, again, I can't stress this enough. The Doug Pederson thing is done and over with. We're going to just have to play the wait-and-see game on that. Okay, we can sit here and be mad and try to bitch and moan and complain about it for the next 5 months until the season starts, but is there any good in that? Probably not. Okay? All we got to do is sit here, like you said. You like his first hire. He brings in a guy like Jim Schwartz.
I love it.
Okay, so maybe we luck out, and John Harbaugh, who was a guy that was never anything more than a special teams coach, ends up going to a place like Baltimore and wins the Super Bowl. Maybe that's what he is. We don't know.
We don't know that.
But what we do know is that regardless of how this turns out, this whole process, this whole hiring process, from the moment he fired Chip Kelly to the moment we had a press
horrible.
conference
It was
yesterday,
horrible.
It's just been questionable.
Yeah.
It's just made you scratch your head
Yeah.
and really wonder whether there was ever really a plan, whether there was really ever anything more than Doug Pederson's my guy. I'm going to interview Coughlin. I'm going to talk to this guy.
I think he panicked a little bit when all the coaches started going everywhere else.
Well, they were going after Ben McAdoo.
Yeah.
And the Giants made it well known that Ben McAdoo said the next
And
day.
how much sense does that make?
He said Ben
Yeah.
McAdoo said the next day. He said, "I'm going to Philadelphia for my second interview." And then they had John Moore. He said, "Okay, well, we need to bring him in today." They brought in McAdoo that day, and they
signed him.
didn't allow him to have an interview with the Eagles the next day, and that came out.
So,
and
so there you go.
but as you could see, Jeffrey Lurie start panicking
Well,
and panicking and panicking as all these good coaches start going everywhere else. Like Adam Gase, they're supposed to bring him back for. I didn't like him.
Listen,
I didn't like him, but he went somewhere else though.
And just the same thing with Gase as with Pederson.
Honestly,
You know,
maybe
you
the
don't know,
coaches,
right?
maybe
You don't
maybe
know.
the
You
coaches,
don't.
maybe the coaches knew something that we don't know about Jeffrey Lurie and that team.
Well,
and Howie Roseman.
But here's the thing: I want to mention.
And there you go. I'll go let you get to your point in a minute,
Okay.
Sean. Because there you go. Because you just brought up a big thing. Howie Roseman.
Yeah.
And that now why are we talking about Jeffrey Lurie? Because the big question today is, do you still trust Jeffrey Lurie?
I don't trust him at all.
Because for the longest time, up until maybe a year ago, for the longest time, Jeffrey Lurie was considered one of the best owners in football.
Yes.
Very hands-off, only gets involved in the serious issues when he needs
He's
to.
scared.
And now all of a sudden,
Zach, he's
the
scared.
guy looks lost.
Yeah, he looks
like
lost.
he's got
he's
no
scared
clue.
and
Well,
he's lost.
he saw everyone leaving at halftime.
Well,
and when he sees
they-
everyone leaving at halftime, oh no, this is bad. I'm probably going to be losing money.
And I think another big thing with him was too. We're not going to retread on Chip because that's done and over with. But the reason he fired Chip is he felt like Chip had lost that locker room. That's got to be a scary feeling for somebody that's not a football mind. Like he's just somebody with deep pockets that writes the paychecks.
Yeah.
That if I'm him, I feel helpless there too. Whether that was really the case, it was kind of seemed like it was split a little bit. Some players said yeah, some other players like no, that's not. I don't really know if that was the case. But it definitely there was at least some truth to it. So if I'm Jeffrey Lurie, I can understand that side of it. But that's irrelevant at this point. It's done and over with, just like the Pederson hire is. From this point forward, what you've got to look at is everything that Lurie is now doing as owner. One, we knew that Howie Roseman, this has been well documented since he came into the NovaCare complex in 2009, can't get along with a single soul.
No.
He now admits, Howie Roseman does, to being the one responsible for drafting
for
Marcus
Marcus
Smith,
Smith.
which you already put two and two together a long time ago on that
we
one.
all knew that.
He then claims that he spent the last year reflecting on how to become a better people person. I'm not trying to be an asshole or anything here, but let me just say, if you have
Maybe the problem is Howie Roseman.
well,
I think that's one
we
of the
addressed
problems.
on this.
He's a cancer to the
100%
Eagles
problem.
organization.
We addressed that last week. He's 100% the problem.
Yeah.
But I don't mean to be a jackass here. But if you haven't figured out how to be a people person by 35 years old, I don't really think it's going to happen overnight, Howie. So you're just either a people person or you're not.
Yeah.
On the now, let me segue
the
that
people.
into
Now,
something that
Danny
you were talking
Watkins,
about.
you think? Yeah.
Oh, that's how we.
That's what I was
Howie
getting at.
Roseman.
That's where
Oh,
I was
the
getting at.
freaking way, dude.
Danny Watkins.
Yeah.
The 28-year-old fossil
Howie Roseman.
firefighter
Howie Roseman.
that only
Now-
played 2 years of football,
Let me
but we want to bring him. We want to assign him to a first-round draft
Let me
pick.
segue
All
this
right.
to what you're talking about.
Terrible, dude.
Because you talk about
Laughing stock of the NFL, Philadelphia Eagles.
Yo,
And I wear Eagles midnight green every freaking day.
Yo, I want to get back to the old smash mouth Philadelphia
And
Eagles.
that's what I
the
love
old
about
smash
Jim
mouth.
Schwartz.
Okay, I want blitzing, blitz.
Yeah.
I want quarterbacks' heads being taken off. That's
Listen,
what I want.
I want Jim Johnson back.
we're gonna get
Just bring him back from the grave.
from the grave.
Yeah.
Jesus, we're gonna
Just
get
stuff him.
we're gonna get
Stuff
more
him and
into-
just put him in the booth.
We're going to get more into this whole do you trust Jeff Lurie thing and all that when we come back, okay? We got a lot more stuff to discuss on the rundown today as the show goes on. You got Doug Pederson. You got Jim Schwartz. We're searching now for a new head of personnel that's going to play into my reason why Jeffrey Lurie is incompetent. How do you hire everybody else before you hire a GM? I don't get that.
He's lost.
What are we going to do with the 13th pick? How fun of a conversation is that going to
That's
be?
He's a
gonna be
lost
fun.
puppy.
Tom Brady versus Peyton Manning. Last time ever this weekend. Are you going to watch?
MVP.
Oh yeah.
What's the legacy?
Terrific.
How do you remember this whole rivalry? All of that. It's going to be a lot of fun. This is
Yeah.
a rundown
MVP.
on A2DRadio.com.
Oh, he's a Brady fan all of a sudden.
Yeah, I know. That happened. Romeo's Termite and Pest Control is sponsoring us. You can contact them via local pest control provider, a family-owned and operated business, 856-341-3927. Visit romeospestcontrol.com.
Welcome in to the worldwide leader of what? Real Talk, HUDRadio.com.
Hi, this is Manson Sudi of the Hockey Happy Hour. And if I want a night out in the town but I don't want to miss the Flyers, there's only one place I'm going to, the Philly Sports Bar. Located in 31 South Black Horse Pike in Runnemede, New Jersey, it has over 40 plasma and HD TVs with a brick oven and a 2-story deck. This sports bar has truly surpassed everyone's expectations. From the one-of-a-kind sports memorabilia to the life-size sports figures, this bar stays true to its name. The Philly Sports Bar also provides a quality service along with an outstanding variety of the finest liquors and well-known beers with a family-friendly environment for everyone while remaining true to what they are, the best darn sports bar. So check out the Philly Sports Bar. You can give them a call at 856-939-4322. Send them an email at info@phillysportsbar.com or check out their website at www.phillysportsbar.com. That's the Philly Sports Bar in Runnemede, New Jersey.
This is Tom Arnone, owner and founder of HUDRadio.com. What if I told you I knew the best caterer in the business? Well, I'm not going to lie to you. It's Obie's Catering. You can contact Obie's Catering at cateringbyobie@yahoo.com or give Chris O'Brien a call at 856-534-8410. From graduations to wedding rehearsals to just if you need food cooked in your house. He'll do it all. He's trying to change the world one dish at a time. That's Obie's Catering. Chris O'Brien, 856-534-8410. Tell him Tommy A from HUDRadio.com sent you, and you get 20% off.
Hey guys, Rob Povia here from Fantasy Dominance Now in the Hockey Happy Hour with a quick question. Are you in need of a professional home improvement? Then contact Harry's Contracting, 609-638-6336. That's 609-638-6336. No job too big, no job too small. The owner, Harry Ernst, is a fully licensed general contractor. Tile work, bathroom and kitchen remodeling, and just about everything else. No matter what you need, Harry will leave your home looking as beautiful as ever. Harry's Contracting offers free estimates, and if you mention HUD Radio during the estimate, Harry will give you 15% off the quote. Give him the job, tack on another 5% for a total of 20% savings off his already insane low prices. So contact Harry's Contracting today, 609-638-6336, or email Harry's Contracting Improvements at gmail.com. Harry's Contracting, insane home improvements.
HUDRadio.com is proudly sponsored by Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants. Gibson Mayer, located in Yardley, PA, is a leading accounting and business consulting firm with a proven track record of handling critical issues with expertise across many different industries, including construction, distribution, hospitality, manufacturing, real estate, service trades, merchandising, professional services, and professional athletes. Give them a call at 215-369-3300. That's 215-369-3300. Your initial consultation is always free, and if you tell them that Tom and Mike from AM and the PM sent you, you'll receive 15% off all income tax services completed by February 15th. That's Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants, 215-369-3300, or visit them on the web at www.gibsonmayer.com. That's gibsonmayer.com.
The Rundown, only on HUDRadio.com.
This is the Rundown on A2DRadio.com. About 20 minutes in, we're getting into this heavy Jeffrey Lurie conversation. Do you still trust him after, I guess you call it a questionable head coaching process, among other things? There's a lot of things that go into it. That's the big question of the day. That's the Twitter question. Our Twitter poll on Twitter, go and check it out. Yes or no question. It's quite simple. I mean, it can't get any more simple than this. Do you still trust Jeff Lurie? You know, and it doesn't get any more simple than that.
The Eagles are a joke.
We're going to talk about this Lurie thing. We're going to talk about Jim Schwartz is the new defensive coordinator. We're going to talk about a new
move.
Search for head of personnel, which just seems to play
It's going to be high
How is
Roseman.
that still open?
But it's not, though.
But it's probably
That should have been the first.
Howie Roseman is pulling the strings, bro.
That should have been the first hiring
he's
of the
pulling the strings.
2015 Eagles.
I thought the same thing. And we were all under the impression that the reason this process was working the way it was because Howie was eventually going to be that guy. Jeffrey was either going to promote him to GM or he would stay in his current role, but overall he'd end up having the same powers as a general manager would have or whatever. But now...
Let's bring Big Tuna in.
Well, hold on.
You want to bring Parcells in?
No.
Big Tuna, no?
But, Sean, this is why I think... We now know that's not true. I mean, all signs pointed to that, and this is why I think plays. You talk about Lurie being lost. We talk about Lurie being lost. Maybe he is, because I think it's really hard to believe that at one point that was not the plan. If you think about it, right? When you look at the way this whole head coach hiring process went, it's really hard to believe that when Chip first went into this process, he thought Howie was going to be his guy that was going to be head of personnel going forward.
Right.
And then all of a sudden we come to the press conference where they're introducing Doug Pederson, and it's Jeffrey Lurie that's very adamant that says, no, we're currently conducting a search for a new head of personnel. That guy is not here at this moment.
That guy should have been hired before Doug Pederson.
Well, let's go.
Right?
Let's go.
I mean, that's conventionally how it works.
Let's go a little further with that. Jeffrey Lurie quoted. He said, "During this process, I spoken to other head coaches, plural, other head coaches about Doug Pederson." Well, who are these other head coaches?
Well, we know Andy Reid talked to him.
Well, we know that, but I'm saying, did he call Bill Belichick and say, "Hey, Bill, let me ask you something. I know you have a playoff game, Bill, and you're prepping for it, but let me ask you a question, Bill."
How's Doug Pederson?
Well, Bill Belichick probably doesn't know Doug Pederson.
Exactly.
But let me ask you
I'm
this.
making a point.
But
exactly.
Let me ask you this, because remember, Doug Pederson was Brett Favre's backup.
I know who he called.
Right.
He called the assistant coach down south that he high school
he
football
said
with. That's who he called.
He said head coaches
He called
in
the athletic
NFL,
director.
but he said head coaches in the NFL.
Are you gonna put
So who
quotation
did he call Mike
marks around
Sherman?
NFL?
Did he call Mike Sherman, who was the head coach in Green Bay when Peterson was backing up Brett Favre?
Yeah.
Did he call Mike Holmgren? Because Andy Reid said,
Well,
"Well,
Mike
talk to Mike
Holmgren had a
Holmgren."
playoff game.
Mike Holmgren will know about
But-
Doug Peterson.
Well, yeah, I don't know.
I mean,
I'm just
like,
saying.
Who does he really talk to? Because who knows Doug Peterson?
Harbaugh.
other
I
than
guess
Andy Reid?
Harbaugh.
John Harbaugh would know him a little
I'm
bit.
just saying he
Lurie-
probably called John Harbaugh.
Harbaugh would know him a
and
little bit.
Harbaugh, I would say Harbaugh because he was in the Eagles organization. You know, Lurie came to John Harbaugh and said, "Hey, what do you think about this hire?"
Now,
you know, but he said head coaches,
But hold on.
plural.
Before we get back to our topic at hand, because we keep talking about how we don't know at Peterson. See, and I made this comparison. Best case scenario, you don't know. I mean, will it happen? I don't think so. Could it happen? Yeah. Best case scenario, Doug Peterson ended up being a John Harbaugh, somebody that was anything more than a special teams coach at the NFL level, ends up being like an offensive assistant for 1 year, then gets hired to be a head coach out in Baltimore. Next thing you know, he's winning Super Bowls. Did anybody expect that when he was hired out there? Probably not. He was the less talented of the Harbaugh brothers, right? He was the long lost Harbaugh brother. It was Jim that was the talented and talked about Harbaugh brother. So you just don't know. That's listen, I'm rooting for that. I would love Doug Peterson to tune in to be John Harbaugh. But when you look at the way Jeffrey Lurie went about all this, how the hell does Jeffrey Lurie come to that conclusion based on this entire process?
We want to get a head start. We want to get a head start.
Okay.
So let's start there. I interviewed 25 head coaches. What do you want to call it? Applicants. I don't know. 25 personnel.
I want to know if
I brought in
Smith was in
25
there.
people.
He wasn't.
And I interviewed. Okay, 25 people. Hey Jeff, who are the 25? All right. Well, we know who some of the guys.
He interviewed Coughlin. He interviewed McAdoo. He interviewed Peterson.
Right. Let's start naming 25 guys. Oh, Deuce Staley. Can't forget that. He was number one, right?
The first.
Well, that's
the first.
He was number one.
That was
the day after Chip got fired.
Because of the Rooney Rule.
And here's what's a load of crap about it. Okay, is
and by the way,
one,
Deuce Staley's back at running back coach.
Yeah, Deuce does a good job with the running backs. He really does.
He does.
Lurie, I think it's one of two things here. First of all, what I don't understand is, because one, I think Lurie's full of crap, and I think that was a bold-faced lie. But what I don't understand about the strategy behind that is, like, you're trying to play it into, like, we did a longer and more, deeper search than anybody's given us credit for.
Exactly.
But what I don't understand about that is now you're kind of throwing Doug Pederson, the guy that you just hired to be under the bus, and pretty much saying you were our fifth choice. We interviewed this guy, we wanted this guy, we wanted that guy, and they turned it down, and now we hired you.
But of course he's going to say it, but he's saying, oh, we knew Doug all along. Ever since we went to Kansas City and we interviewed him,
Listen.
we knew all along he was the guy.
There is something fishy going on with Jeffrey Lurie.
That's just talking about in circles, though. How are you going to say we interviewed all these guys, but we knew we wanted Pederson from the very beginning?
There's something fishy going on with this whole group, with Roseman and Lurie. All right, Tom Coughlin.
What do you think, they're gay?
Okay. No.
I don't know.
Lurie's a shady individual.
No, listen.
I mean, not Lurie. Roseman's a shady individual. Lurie, I don't know. Lurie's got deep pockets. Roseman's a shady individual.
Yeah.
Listen, I think Tom Coughlin pulled his name out of the hat. And that's weird for him to do. He's a veteran coach.
Well, that had everything to do with Howie Roseman.
Exactly, because he went in there, Tom Coughlin went in there, wanted to remind him, hey, look at my jewelry, fellas.
Yeah.
I got 2 Super Bowl
listen,
rings. You want to listen?
If he did tell Lurie and had Roseman, I'm going to bring my guys in. If I'm Lurie and Roseman, dude, I'm saying, hell yeah, bring your guys in. Let's get this thing rolling. Give me the contract right now. We'll sign you for 3 years.
Well, I'll bring in Steve Spagnuolo. Do you guys want him?
Yeah.
I mean, you know what? I actually like Schwartz as defensive coordinator over
I do,
Spagnuolo.
too. 100%.
Schwartz consistently has defenses that rank in the top 10.
Yes.
And you know what he brings to his defense that I love? He brings
blitzing.
Forget about blitzing.
Yep.
He brings attitude.
Yeah.
Okay? Because anybody can blitz. Sean McDermott blitzes the crap out of everybody in Carolina. But Schwartz brings attitude.
And
that's something that we need on this defense.
The thing that's different from Schwartz and Billy Davis is that Billy
Everything.
Davis shied away from the blitz. He went from a base like 4-3. Jim Schwartz brings that attack.
All right, here's a
Ralph, we don't have a camera.
Here's a Jim.
Don't ever compare those two.
Here's a Jim Schwartz quote. We want to attack. We want to put pressure on the quarterback. We want to create negative plays. Yeah. That's a quote from our new defensive coordinator. I love it.
I love it.
Yes.
His attitude is amazing.
Now, Ralph, this is where me and Sean are coming from. So, Jim Schwartz is here not because of Jeffrey Lurie.
Yeah, Doug Pederson.
Not because of Howie Roseman, but because of Doug Pederson. Good hire.
Good hire.
Great hire. All three of us are in agreement.
Love it. No more 3-4-4, fellas.
I know.
Exactly. So we're judging a book by its cover before we let him get in here. At least the guy's smart enough now at this point. Pederson, we're talking about Pederson, to understand that, okay, I'm a first-time head coach. I also want to call the plays. You know what? I need a lot of help. I'm going to bring in as much experience around me as possible because that's a smart thing for me to do.
But it was just weird that the Eagles went down a road with a head coach as Doug Pederson, well, now as a first-time head, that didn't have much experience. When you knew a guy like Sean McDermott had experience in the NFL, but he's the defensive coordinator.
Yeah, and he's running Ron Rivera's defense.
Tom Coughlin, a lot of experience. Lovie Smith, a lot of experience.
Well, Lovie Smith's the guy.
That's
if
who
you want
I
to talk
wanted.
experience,
That's
to
who
be
I wanted.
To be a head coach, you need really good experienced coordinators.
And
that's
Lovie
what
Smith
you need.
and Tom Coughlin.
That's
bring
what
that.
you need. I like Andy Reid. I like Andy Reid.
I would have taken Spagnuolo as my head coach.
Listen,
you know why? Because he has experience.
Would Andy Reid been the same coach if he didn't have Jimmy Johnson?
Exactly.
There you go. That's what we're getting at.
And you're talking about the Pederson thing. I get it, but
maybe Schwartz makes Pederson. Dude.
Andy wasn't an assistant for all that long in Green Bay. Now I went through that last week. It's different because of the guy he was working with there and Brett Favre, and you learn a lot. But it still wasn't like he was that long, an assistant for that long.
You love Brett Favre, don't you?
I mean,
you keep breaking him up. You love Brett Favre.
Best quarterback in the 90s. But overall, for career-wise, he was overrated. But he was the quarterback of the 90s.
What about Elway?
Elway was the quarterback of the 80s. Nobody did more in the 80s with less than John Elway.
Well, then we can go Montana.
You
see what I'm getting at now?
No, nobody. You
see what I'm
getting at? You didn't listen to what I said.
Dan Marino. What about Dan Marino?
You didn't listen to what I said.
Okay.
Nobody did more with less than Elway in the 80s. Montana won all those rings, but also had all that.
Marino didn't win rings, but
he had a Hall of Fame receiver that he threw to in Mark Clayton.
Still,
dude, he's phenomenal. Absolutely
phenomenal.
So
I mean, we can debate that all day long.
But he also had a guy named Don Shula as his head coach. That for me, Marino had more to work with than a guy like Elway. We got to take a quick break for station identification. A2DRadio.com.
You're listening to A2D Radio. A2D Radio. A2D Radio. A2DRadio.com.
Now, anytime you win 3 MVP awards in a decade, you're the quarterback of that decade, and that's what Brett Favre did, on top of a Super Bowl ring in that decade.
So you say,
but once 2000 came,
so is terrific Tom? Is he the quarterback of this decade?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
probably.
okay.
I mean,
He's
he's
gonna win
kind of.
MVP this
He's
year.
probably the
Okay.
quarterback of the last.
Wait,
He's
hold on
probably
a
the
second.
quarterback of this generation.
Yeah, I got to rewind this back. Zach, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't this guy hate on Tom Brady like 3 weeks ago?
Yeah, this guy.
I made a statement.
Yeah.
So if 31 NFL teams, if Tom Brady came available, 31 NFL teams would be knocking down his door. He goes, not the Eagles, not the Eagles.
It was sarcasm because you know how
Okay.
stupid the Eagles are, dude.
Well, I'm
They just started. They just hired.
He was hating on Tom.
Oh,
Tom
my
Terrific.
God.
Now all of a sudden,
Listen.
Tom, he's the MVP.
He is MVP in my eyes.
We
It's
could
all
sit
gonna-
here.
Yeah, Super Bowl MVP.
And we could sit here and play this. You know, we'll talk about the Eagles search
But
for a new head
Jeffrey
of personnel
Lurie is
now,
scared. He's
and with
scared.
Jeffrey Lurie,
He's scared
and
of
we
him
can,
also.
and we could sit here and try to play speculate who we think the new head. That's a stupid speculation because you and me. I mean, our opinions are
nobody
irrelevant.
knows, right.
Who the hell knows
Yeah.
who's going to be the new head personnel?
Better
big-
not be somebody from the Browns.
Oh.
Like today.
Joe Banner.
Oh.
The big.
Oh man!
Yeah, I hate to
listen,
tell you,
listen. If that happens, I'm becoming a Giants fan.
No, stop it. I hate to tell you this. I'd much rather have Joe Banner
No,
than freaking
but that'll
Roseman.
never happen. Yeah,
I
but
know,
I would
but
too,
I'm
but that'll
just
never happen
saying-
because
Yeah, it
Roseman
would
and
never
Banner
happen.
get fist
I
fights.
can't
Yeah.
stand.
I'd rather have Banner over Roseman too, but those two are going to be throwing hit. That's going to be Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield.
Rather have
you
a
know,
homeless man from Philadelphia be the GM
like
of
the
the
bite
Eagles
fight. You
than
know,
Harry Roseman.
if Banner comes back to Philadelphia, but the bigger picture with that is. We're confused by the process. Before we went to break. We're confused by the process of how we're hiring a head coach, how we're hiring all coordinators and all this before we bring a head of personnel. And the agreement that I think all three of us came to is similar to. We compare it to what's going on out in Dallas. Jason Garrett's there
Yes, man.
to be
Yes.
Jerry Jones's yes man.
Yes.
Pretty
yeah,
much
he's
a puppet.
He's a
Yes.
puppet. That,
Now-
word
Yes.
for word, puppet.
I don't want
Yes.
to call Doug Peterson a puppet because, in all
Yes.
honesty,
Yes.
I think Doug Peterson, when everything is said and done, with success he could end up. Well, if I look back at Peterson and Garrett, I'm going to say don't even put that. Peterson was a better football mind.
Yeah.
But this smells just like that whole situation.
Do you know who's a good football mind the Eagles let go?
Pat
Tom-
Shermer,
Gamble.
Tom,
yeah,
Gamble was
He's
Gamble.
a stud.
Yeah.
You know where he's
He
at
put-
now?
yo, he put-
San Fran
Well,
with championship,
didn't
baby.
didn't he put a Super Bowl team together?
he did.
Yes,
But
he
does
did.
does this whole thing not
He's out San
smell
Fran with Chip
like
right now.
remember when Wade
Partying.
Phillips got fired out in Dallas by Jerry Jones and they hired Jason Garrett
Yeah.
from offense coordinator to head coach, and then he went 8-8 like 3 years straight, and you're just kind of like, this guy stinks. Like,
Stinks.
like terrible head coach.
And he was
and
a
what
backup,
happened?
and he was a freaking quarterback for
And
the
what
Dallas
happened?
Cowboys.
Hold on.
Right.
And what happened? The guy didn't have any type of success.
No.
It took them hiring Rod Marinelli as a defensive coordinator and bringing in all these experienced coordinators and coaches around him for them to finally make the playoffs a year ago.
So
right?
you're saying what we're doing is we're looking in the same mirror as the Dallas
Yes.
Cowboys?
I don't think
Close.
it's intentional.
Close.
I don't think it's intentional. Here's my thing, and like I said, I really.
I wish we had Dallas Cowboys offensive line.
I'm making this comparison, but at the same time, I feel bad doing it because, like I said, I feel like that's a little bit disrespectful to Peterson at this moment to say, oh, well, you're just Jason Garrett. You're just a puppet. Because for all we know, a guy could end up being the next big thing for us and winning a Super Bowl. But this smell, the hiring process of hiring Doug Peterson smells like that whole process out in Dallas
He's
when
easy.
they hired
He's
Jason Garrett.
Peterson-
They wanted somebody that was going to come in,
Dougie
immediately
Doug.
say, yes, hey, what do you want? We're going to do that. I'm going to be a yes man to both you, Jeffrey, to whoever you bring in to run this
man,
organization.
Jesus.
I'm not going to ruffle any feathers. I'm not
Doug
going
is
to.
that. He's going to be the yes man. I'm telling you that right now.
But I
No
think that's
moves
part
is
of
going to
it.
go through Doug. If Doug doesn't like a move,
Great.
Sorry, Doug.
Hold on,
I'm
though.
telling you.
Hold on, though.
I'm telling you. Yes.
Hold on, though.
It's all going to be Doug.
But do we want moves going through Doug? I don't
No.
want moves
Hell
going through
no.
Doug. So you know.
Hell no.
So you see what I'm saying?
I want personnel if he's going to bring in other coordinators because he knows other
Right.
coordinators.
Yeah.
I want that to
Now,
happen.
but here's my problem with this. This is what I'm trying to get at with this. Yeah, we don't want Doug Peterson being in charge of personnel. We don't want Howie Roseman being in charge
Hell
of personnel
no,
either.
no.
But as much sense as this doesn't make, I think what it kind of tells you is this. I would think Jeffrey Lurie at least has an idea, and Howie Roseman and whoever's in charge of that whole search, they have an idea of who's going to be that person that they're bringing in to be the head of personnel.
I hope they do.
Because I don't think you would hire all of this because you bring in a GM, usually he wants his own guy.
Yeah.
So if you're bringing in a new GM, it's already under the assumption and you're under the understanding that he's okay with Doug Pederson as his head coach and with Jim Schwartz as his defensive coordinator and with Frank Reich here as an offensive coordinator and with this guy coaching the offensive line. So you see what? So like that tells me. You brought it up earlier. There's something fishy here.
It is.
And we're not being told the whole story. And I don't like that. Because I don't think Jeffrey Lurie is smart enough to sit here and try to hold out on us and say, just wait and see, trust me. I don't trust you. I don't trust you one bit, Jeffrey.
I want to know who the 25 other coaches that you had.
Well, that was a load of crap.
I've been saying that.
That was a load of crap.
I want to know.
Maybe had 4.
Give me the list of the 25 coaches. Put it on Facebook. Put it on Twitter. Put it on Instagram. I want to see the 25 list of name of coaches.
And this is where I think, he was exaggerating, but he was exaggerating based off this fact.
Okay.
I read a report, guys like Adam Schefter, a lot of these Eagles insiders. Not Schefter just ended up retweeting.
I do like Adam Schefter.
Schefter just retweeted something that Tim McManus tweeted. But if Tim McManus is tweeting, you can rely on it.
Okay.
He had tweeted that Lurie had talked to 4 head coaches that were already head coaches in the NFL. One of them, of course, was Sean Payton. No. Not about hiring Doug Pederson.
Yeah, well, we knew about that.
About before he hired Pederson, he had talked to 4 head coaches that were already coaches or already had jobs in the NFL that he was trying to find a way to convince and that he just couldn't get them away from that job.
Brought Breeze with him for 3 years.
So we could assume that maybe Sean Payton was one of those guys. We probably have to assume that John Harbaugh was probably one of those guys.
Yes.
We could now it gets a little the two maybe Coughlin was one of those guys initially before he left or resigned from New York. That was one of the guys he had in mind. Chuck Pagano is a guy that I think out in Indianapolis maybe was in that conversation. Yeah. But still,
Lovie Smith.
Well, maybe Lovie Smith was in that conversation.
He's a defensive coach.
I'm just.
So is Chuck Pagano.
So
is Chuck Pagano. But this
he's
is
not
what I
an
understand.
offense coach. God forbid if
They
you don't bring
didn't
an offense
bring
coach.
him in.
But this all plays
if
in.
you don't bring in an offense coach for Jeffrey Lurie, oh man,
this all plays into your fishiness that you were talking about. Even if that was the case, how come we're just hearing about that now? How come that's something that you revealed to when you have to wait till Doug Pederson's hiring press conference to tell us you were trying to talk to Sean Payton, Chuck Pagano, John Harbaugh? So what? So what you're trying? This is what I don't understand. Was Pederson your guy or was he not? Because now you're making it seem like he's sloppy seconds.
Yeah.
Let's take a break. We got to take another break on the rundown on A2DRadio.com. We're brought to you by Legends Tap, the best pizza this side of the Delaware, 318 High Street, Burlington, New Jersey. Call 609-386-3001. When we come back, we want to get into who would you pick with the 13th pick in the NFL draft. Not who would you pick, actually, what would you do with it? Because that gives you more options. Would you trade up? Would you trade back? Are you going to take somebody? What do you want to do? This is the rundown, A2DRadio.com. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome in to the worldwide leader of what? Real talk, A2DRadio.com.
A2DRadio.com is sponsored by Romeo's Termite and Pest Control. Family owned and operated, Romeo's only employs the safest, most effective methods to rectify your situation. Whether it's at your house or at your commercial residence, no matter what the concern may be, they'll get the job done. Raccoons, squirrels, bed bugs, termites, you name it, they'll take care of it. Satisfaction guaranteed. Give them a call at 856-341-3927 or look them up on Facebook at Romeo's Pest Control or visit their website at www.romeospestcontrol.com, your local pest control provider.
Hey, are you interested in moving to the South Jersey area? Or are you looking to buy, sell, or rent a house? Have no fear, Kingsgate Realty is here to help you out. They have hundreds of listings on their site for your financing needs. Be sure to call Patrick Bokikio at 856-931-1200. Once again, that is 856-931-1200. Or you can email him at patbo@kingsgatere.com. Be sure to visit kingsgatere.com today.
A2DRadio.com is sponsored by The Sports Outlet, located at 703 Black Horse Pike in Glendora, New Jersey, with over 40 years of customer experience giving the latest in uniforms and equipment to sports enthusiasts of baseball, softball, football, basketball, hockey, soccer, and much more. Give them a call at 856-939-2030 or send them an email at sportsoutletnj@comcast.net or visit their website at www.sportsoutletinc.com for all of your sporting needs.
You're listening to The Rundown, only on A2DRadio.com.
Welcome back to the Rundown on A2DRadio.com. I think my mic was too close to my mouth that time, so I came back. I was yelling at everybody. What else is new? It's what we do here on the Rundown. I yell at you, Ralph. Sean yells at me. I yell back at Sean. Then we all yell at each other. Yeah. But heck, it's all a good fun, right? We've been yelling for, 40 minutes?
Yep.
And it's just getting more and more fun as we go. We've talked about Jeffrey Lurie. We're all in agreement. We don't trust him. It has more to do with, part of it has to do with the fact that he's hired Doug Pederson, but we've come to the agreement that we got to play wait and see with that. It has more to do with the whole process that surrounded that.
And we have a little rodent that is in Jeffrey Lurie's ear.
And part of that process that we're talking about happens to be Howie Roseman, who's the rodent you're talking about.
Howie Roseman, the rodent.
That
I like it.
That's part of that process that we've talked about. That's a bigger deal with why we don't trust Jeff Lurie. Has more to do with the fact that a guy like Howie Roseman still has a job than it does to do with the fact that Doug Pederson's your coach.
When he just admitted that he messed up your first-round pick?
How can you bring him back?
Marcus Smith. How can you bring him back
bad.
when he's not a person?
And Marcus Smith isn't the first time he
doesn't
that.
like people, dude.
Not
so
only,
how can you
not
be
only
a GM?
that, not only that, I really want to ask Jeffrey Lurie one question. Hey, Jeff, who was the pick for Danny Watkins? Was that Andy Reid or was that Howie Roseman? I really would love to know that.
Listen, if he tells me Howie Roseman, I'm becoming a Giants fan.
No, don't do that.
No, I'm being a
you
Giants
can't
fan.
you can't sell your soul to the devil for JetBlue.
Why don't I trust Jeffrey Lurie? We're going to move on.
Fine, I'll be a Jets fan.
We're going to move
I
on.
don't care. You could be a Jets
We're going to move on to what we would do with the 13th overall pick in a minute. But real quick, closing thought on Jeffrey Lurie. Why don't I trust Jeffrey Lurie? And this tells me everything I need to know. I read a report last night as I was trying to find things online. I was Googling, Jeffrey Lurie, bad owner, and Howie Roseman, and all these, trying to find some things. Apparently, multiple executives around football, and at least a couple, have talked to Jeffrey Lurie apparently personally about it. Mm-hmm. But the report was this executive, whoever I think he was maybe a USA Today reporter or whatever, the reporter he was talking to, the report said, and this is quote from that NFL executive, Jeffrey Lurie is too stupid to realize that Howie Roseman is destroying his organization.
Yep.
He's too dumb to realize that Howie Roseman is the worst thing the Eagles have going for them at this moment. Howie Roseman is the problem.
Was he 37?
He's 30-something. He's 30-something years old.
He looks like he's 30, but I think he's 35, 38, something like that.
He looks like he's 12.
He maybe just turned 40.
Looks like he's 12.
Yeah, exactly. And the guy doesn't even have a football background. You know what Howie Roseman is? Howie Roseman is that guy that had, when he got a law degree from like Brown University, and then has like he has got an accounting degree. Yeah. So this is a money guy. This is a guy that knows how to crunch numbers. He knows nothing about football. Yeah. I want that guy. Right. I want that guy. You talk about Joe Banner. I want Howie Roseman in charge of numbers, salaries. Money. Right. I don't want Howie Roseman picking my football team.
Right. The Marcus Smith draft.
Yes.
Who went after Marcus Smith?
A lot of people.
After Marcus Smith.
Well, for one, Jordan Matthews went in the second round, and
I got another thing. All right, that I want to bring up, and it's been killing me. Do you remember we traded we traded a draft pick? I believe it was 2010. I think it was the Brandon Graham.
Yeah.
We traded we wound up trading a draft pick.
Yeah.
And you know who the Dallas Cowboys drafted? Sean Lee.
Yep.
We traded.
Sean Lee was fifth round pick.
Listen, bro.
And he's turned into a superstar.
We traded the Dallas. That's why we never trade in our division. We traded the Dallas Cowboys, our draft pick, and they drafted a stud player.
Perfect segue, Sean. You're a genius. Here we go. Right, we want to segue into how we're going to talk about the NFL draft, and you talk about studs.
When is that? In April, right?
Drafts it. Well, I think it's in May now again.
Is it?
Because they switched it to May last year and had it become, whatever.
I know you want.
Roger Goodell's a money-grubbing whore, and it's all about money for Roger Goodell.
You want your linebacker? I know.
Well,
Zach.
listen. I've seen a couple mock drafts since last week. Okay. Now, meanwhile, to my point, tell me if you.
If he is still there,
I'm
I
not
want
saying
him to.
we should draft Jalen Smith, but here's my point that I was trying to tell you last week, Sean. Okay, Jalen Smith going into Notre Dame's bowl game was considered the 3rd overall prospect in the entire draft. You know where he's going in the latest mock draft?
Where?
20th overall. Simply because of
that
a
knee
knee
injury.
injury. Simply because of a knee injury. So you're telling me the 3rd overall best prospect from a talent perspective in this draft is falling all the way to 20 because of a knee injury?
I'm snagging
I feel
him up.
stupid at 13 if he's still there and I'm not taking him.
I know.
Well, listen
and
now-
you know where I'm at with
And
this.
listen,
We
Howard
we-
Roseman's
our
not
most-
going to pull the trigger
But
on
our
him.
most
Let's
depth,
run around
our
this real
most
quick.
depth on our squad, on our team, is where? Linebacker.
Yeah.
It
Okay,
is.
hold on, though.
Kiko
Hold on.
Alonso,
Hold on.
Well, listen, Sean,
Michael
it's never
Kendricks.
Our
too
bad
best
to
one
have
is
I'm with you.
Jordan
Ralph,
Hicks.
Ralph, I'm with you guys, and we're going to take a break in 1 minute. We got to take our final break. I'm with you. But to your point, okay, first of all, let's not consider D'Amico Ryan's part of this linebacking core going forward because the guy's shot, okay?
He's
so
old, yeah.
so can we just take him out of the picture? Okay,
We'll buy him
So
out.
we have,
Okay,
Kiko Alonso.
right.
We don't really, know what's going on with
if,
him.
If you
but-
take D'Amico Ryan's out of the picture, to your point, what's that leave you with? Michael Kendricks, Jordan Hicks, Kiko Alonso. That's not really linebacking depth.
We just-
That's 3 good players, but
they're still linebackers,
The-
Zach.
hold on.
We're going to
hold
have
on.
4. Okay, we'll have 4, and then we're
Yes,
going to have. What are we going
because-
to do with Ryan? Are we letting Ryan go?
Yeah, D'Amico
It's-
Ryan
no,
has to go.
I'm
Yeah,
saying
he's gone. He's
definitely
absolutely
he's
100%.
definitely
If we're keeping this conversation, me drafting Jalen Smith has everything to do with the fact that D'Amico Ryan's will not be here next year, which means that I've only got 3 linebackers: Kendricks, Hicks, and Alonso. And I don't really trust Alonso that
don't
much.
trust Alonso.
I'd rather have Alonso and Jalen Smith be the 3rd and 4th, and have them vote. I'd rather play all 4 linebackers. Keep it fresh. You talk about linebacking depth. Now I got 4 guys that can be studs. That's how I
And
look
we
at
try
it.
to do that this
but,
year.
But we're going to come back. We're going to get into that more
Okay.
because you make a good
Sounds
point,
good.
and that's why this conversation's so good because there's a lot of different angles we could go. This is the Rundown on A2DRadio.com. We're brought to you by Scanzano Sports Center, located in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. 856-889-3434. Visit ScanzanoSports.com.
You're listening to the worldwide leader of Real Talk, A2DRadio.com.
A2DRadio.com is sponsored by Martino Roofing. With more than 15 years of roofing experience, they have all the services that you need, whether it's new construction, tear-offs, replacements, or re-roofs for your residential or commercial business. They will provide a detailed service in a timely and professional manner. So you can give them a call for a free consultation at 609-792-5103. Send them an email at martinoroofing@comcast.net or visit them on the web at www.martinoroofingllc.com. The number again is 609-792-5103. Martino Roofing.
This is Het, your dude with the tunes from A to Z classic rock. When I'm hungry and in the mood for pizza or killer sandwich, I head to Legends Tap, located at 318 High Street in Burlington, New Jersey. Pleasant atmosphere, delicious pizza, kickin' sandwiches, great iced tea, soda, or if you prefer an adult beverage, they have that also. 318 High Street, Burlington, New Jersey, Legends Tap, the best pizza this side of the Delaware.
This is Tom Arnone, owner and founder of HUDRadio.com. What if I told you I knew the best caterer in the business? Well, I'm not going to lie to you. It's Obie's Catering. You can contact Obie's Catering at cateringbyobie@yahoo.com or give Chris O'Brien a call at 856-534-5600. 8410. From graduations to wedding rehearsals to just if you need food cooked in your house. He'll do it all. He's trying to change the world one dish at a time. That's Obie's Catering. Chris O'Brien, 856-534-8410. Tell him Tommy A from HDRadio.com sent you, and you'll get 20% off. The Rundown, only on HDRadio.com.
Welcome back to the Rundown on A2DRadio.com. We're brought to you by the Sports Outlet for all your sporting needs. Go to 703 Black Horse Pike, Glendora, New Jersey, 856-939-2030. Email sportsoutletnj@comcast.net. Visit the website, sportsoutletinc.com. I wonder with how fast I read these reads if anybody ever picks it up.
Probably not.
Probably not, right? All right, well, I talked about Jalen Smith at the 13th pick. I'm still going to be okay. I'm going to throw out a couple of names here. You guys give me yay or nay with it, okay? Ralph, I know you follow college football almost as heavily as I do, Sean.
I fell off because I disagree with a lot of the rules.
But me and Ralph could at least be able to fill you in on what a prospect is.
I know. And so my buddy, I actually have like a recruit is John Brenner.
Well, there you go.
He's like very knowledgeable. So he's like my
you
college
have people
insider.
That you go to.
Oh, he tells me who.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you.
So you're still in the loop.
He hits the nail on the head. I can tell you that.
There you
but
go.
I like out of my two teams, I like Notre Dame and Penn State. I always was a Notre Dame and Penn State guy.
Let's move on from Jalen Smith. Ralph, I mean, you pretty much agreed with me that hey, if he's falling to 13, I'm not opposed to taking him. I'm not saying that that's the guy you want to take, but you understood where I was coming from, saying that type of talent's there.
If it is true that he's still there, I'm taking him. It's never too wrong to have a lot of depth on the defensive side of the ball.
Okay. Well,
I
agree with that.
As we've seen this year, how Chip, his hurry-up offense was can be out there on the field for 10 minutes, or you could be out there on the field for 45 seconds. Defense doesn't know. So it's always good to have a little freshness on the defense, and I think Jalen Smith can be a big factor on the defensive ball. And, hey, there's never wrong with four linebackers.
Well, and what's the other point we just talked about? Jim Schwartz is our new defensive coordinator, right?
Yeah.
I want to give him as many weapons as possible.
It's already reported that Connor Barwin's going defensive end.
Yeah, he's going to become a 4-3 defensive end.
That's why Vinny Curry's not coming back.
And Cedric Thornton's gone. Cedric Thornton's coming. He's gone.
He's gone. And Vinny
Curry's gone. Yeah, I told Zach that earlier.
I think Curry's coming back. But I think Curry's coming back.
Well, he could. But
I think he will.
We know Fletcher Cox is going to be one of the defensive tackles, and Benny Logan and Vinny Curry are probably going to be one of the other two.
Yeah.
But here's
the
bigger question:
why Cedric Thornton? So it's already reported.
And I like
that
Cedric Thornton, but
he
kind of was coming off an injury,
Yeah.
so his stock completely went down.
Listen,
so I don't know how much money he's going to be looking for.
I'm not high on D'Amico Ryans anymore.
He's a good leader. He's a great leader.
But
2 years
I don't know
ago,
if I
I
need
was
that
high.
because Connor Barwin's a great leader now too. You know,
2 years ago I was high on D'Amico Ryans because he's a run stopper.
Right.
But as soon as he tore that Achilles, he slowed down a lot.
Well, that's
Yeah, it's
twice?
the second torn Achilles.
Second-
I was
second
surprised he
torn
didn't call it a career right there.
Yeah.
And Jalen Smith is going to be a big pickup if he's still there.
Yeah.
My guy.
And I hate how he did
listen,
it after that interception.
Listen, and my guy. If we don't sign Sam Bradford, if we don't franchise tag him and all this, you know how you guys got in the pre-show.
Right.
You don't gotta get into a big fight anymore.
Right.
If we don't sign Sam Bradford, you have to go quarterback first pick. You have.
And I'm not opposed to it. And here's the reason: if
and
Doug
the guy
Pederson,
that you take is Paxton Lynch.
well,
I think he will be a star in this league.
and listen, again, quarterback. I mean, you could have the same conversation about quarterbacks that you do when you hire a new head coach.
Yeah.
This guy could be a Hall of Famer. This guy could end up being the next.
But do I want
Jamarcus
Sam
Russell.
Bradford here? Oh hell yeah, I want Sam Bradford.
Well,
For what, 5 years and $100 million?
Hey, Ralph, breaking news report, Sam Bradford's agent is asking for $25 million per year.
Yeah, and that's
what
gonna
you're going to have to pay him.
And that's going to be over a long-term deal.
Super Bowl quarterback money. That's what you have to pay that guy.
And Sean, and see, that's why I'm not opposed to what Ralph's talking. Even say you draft a guy like a Paxton Lynch, and say after 2 years you're like, this kid can't play at this level. Let's move on.
Yeah.
Okay. Contracts for quarterbacks in the first round now work and are friendly enough for you where you can make that happen. Yeah. But I'm willing to vote. Doug Pederson, he's a quarterback guy, right?
Yep.
Whether he is or that's what he's considered around the NFL, a quarterback guru. So if he's going to be my new head coach, would I not want to give, just like when Andy was here and we drafted Donovan? I mean, if we're bringing in a guy that's a quarterback guys to be the head coach, would I not want to give him a young quarterback to say, okay, hey, groom him up. Let's see what you can do with him. Now, here's the thing with that. Unlike with Donovan, when we were picking second overall, you're picking 13, and that's a lot more of a gray area. You find a Christian Ponder at 13, and I want nothing to do with a Christian Ponder. What's it called? The Jared Goff from California is projected to go anywhere within the top
15,
5.
yeah.
You know, they got him going to the Browns at 3. He could go somewhere at 2. I don't think the Titans are going to take him at 1.
I think the Browns
Mariota.
are going to take the worst top draft pick like
Well,
they do every year.
Let's just say Goff goes in the top 3 and he's first quarterback off the board. Carson Wentz, this kid from North Dakota State.
Yeah, he's a good ball player.
He's going to be working his way.
Good player.
He's won 4 straight national championships out at North Dakota with the FCS. He's big, got a strong arm, and by all reports says he's going to end up being like Joe Flacco once comes combine time. He's just going to work his way up that draft board. He's going to be so impressive at the combine. He's going to work his way up the board. The latest mock draft I actually saw had the Dallas Cowboys taking him at number 4.
Wow.
So what that tells you is, first of all, his upside apparently is huge. But the Cowboys feel like he's going to have to sit for a year or so.
Go ahead,
which isn't a bad idea to sit him behind a guy like a Tony Romo.
They're prepping.
You know who
they
hasn't?
need to prep a quarterback.
Which then
hasn't
leaves us with
caught my
Paxton
eyes?
Lynch as your third choice.
You know who hasn't caught my eyes in the NFL was Ryan Mallett. He sat behind Tom
And
Brady
see,
for 4 years,
and there you go.
and he hasn't paid
And when Ryan Mallett came out, and Sean, tell me if you're
You can't
wrong.
blame him.
And Sean, tell me if you're wrong because you're a smart enough guy. Ryan Mallett was a first-round talent. Bill Belichick said we had him.
Arkansas.
Yeah, he's and Bobby Petrino coached him there. Which listen, Bobby Petrino's a nutcase, but he's a great.
Right.
He coaches
He's a
up
great head
quarterbacks.
coach.
He coaches up quarterbacks. He does. The whole reason Ryan Mallett fell into the 3rd round was because at Arkansas he got a DUI.
It's like Randy Moss smoking weed, and Randy
Yeah,
Moss is a
it's like
Hall
Warren
of Famer.
Sapp smoking weed and dropping to the 13th pick, and now a Hall of Famer.
And Randy Moss got what? He got booted out of USC, and he wound up going to Marshall.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Now,
because he was smoking marijuana.
Real quick, because we got a couple more things to address here in our final few minutes, okay? Right. Robert Kemdici, I brought this up to you during the break. Our latest mock draft had Robert Kemdici, defensive tackle, defensive end hybrid from Ole Miss. When he came out of high school as the top high school player in the entire country, so the kid's got some talent. He was like 6'5", like 260, built like a defensive end. Yeah. Still has that type of build. But he's athletic enough and he's strong enough where Ole Miss was able to put him inside as well and move him all, kind of like a J.J. Watt, how Houston moves him all over that defensive line. So I'm not opposed to Kemdici either, but my thing is I'd rather have Jalen Smith for the reason we talked about.
Yeah.
Look, our defensive line's filled out. Connor Barwin, Brandon Graham's over on the other side because he's moving from linebacker to defensive end as well. Then you've got Fletcher Cox in the middle with either Vinnie Curry or Benny Logan. I'm not opposed to Kemdici. I'd probably rather have the linebacker.
I want Jalen Smith, dude.
You want Jalen Smith? I'm not opposed to
I'll
Paxton
make it
Lynch.
Still there,
I'll make you a deal.
You stay.
If Jalen
I
Smith
can't
up there,
believe-
One more name.
Listen. You can get your Jalen Smith at 13, okay?
Yeah.
And how about this? Let's trade the other Smith, Marcus Smith, for a 5th round draft pick
There
or
you
something.
go.
I want a draft pick.
How
I want
about this?
draft pick,
Sean,
fellas.
because I know this is something you're probably going to be pretty high on because me and you had this argument over the past couple weeks after the show was over.
Yeah.
You look at the needs on this team and say, hey, we need a playmaker at wide receiver. That would really help our offense.
Yes.
The top wide receiver in this class is a kid, out of Ole Miss, Treadwell, Levante Treadwell.
He's a beast.
Broke his leg last year, and he was a stud then. He broke his leg. Remember, Ole Miss had beat Alabama, was off the hot. He broke his leg. They went right down the toilet. This kid is projected to go 7, 8, right in that area.
Game changer.
He's a game changer, exactly. If he falls to 13,
I'm not taking
I'm
him.
throwing Jalen Smith out my window. I'm with Sean
I
now,
agree.
and I want Levante Treadwell.
I agree.
I
I'll
don't
do
know.
that.
I
We
don't know.
we need a stud wideout, dude.
I
we
agree
need
with that.
one.
And now Jordan Matthews looks a lot better as a number 2 over on the other side.
And he don't have to come out and say, "Oh, I was never trained."
Real quick, though.
Jerry Rice is your freaking
There you
uncle.
go. That's a good point. Real quick, though. Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, probably the last time ever this weekend. One, who do you got?
Tom Brady all day.
You've got Brady.
Yeah, yep.
I'm with you. I think the Patriots probably run away with it. I don't
And
think
he
the Broncos
wins
have enough
MVP.
horsepower. He does not win
Super
of
Bowl.
the Super Bowl. Exactly.
Super Bowl.
But what are your thoughts on this legacy? Because this is the 17th time
We're going to be
they're
winning.
gonna face off.
I spoke to my mom the other day, and I told my mom just got into football, by the way. But I sat down with my mom, and I told my mother, I said, Mom, if there's one game that you want to watch this year, I said, it's the game coming up. You're going to witness arguably the 2 greatest quarterbacks of all time.
Yeah.
Probably for the last time ever.
Yeah.
They're going for the rights to be in the Super Bowl 50. It's
You know what
great.
you know what this would have reminded me of? Remember when Joe Montana was in Kansas City and we talked about it a couple weeks back? It would have been, to me, it would have been like if Joe Montana in his final playoff game ever, when everybody knew it was done, his career was over, ended up facing off against like John Elway or somebody for Denver in the playoffs, and you're like, wow, look at this matchup. Final time ever. How special and privileged are we to be able to have seen this?
Right.
I think you've got to watch it this weekend.
I can't wait.
Just for that reason.
Yeah.
This has been the Rundown on A2DRadio.com. Been a lot of fun. Had obviously a lot of heated conversation. We want to punch each other in the face by the time. We got to get this extended a little bit. It's not going to be long before we're doing an hour and a half. Absolutely, because we talk so much good stuff. For the time being, show's over. Sorry, 60 minutes is up. This has been the Rundown on A2DRadio.com, brought to you by Harry's Contracting for professional home improvement. Give Harry Ernst a call, 609-638-6336. Email him at harryscontractingimprovements@gmail.com.